Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Johnson. Edinburgh, USA is considered the crown jewel of Brooklyn Park, but changes could be on the way.
And I'm Shannon Slatton. Declining revenues have Brooklyn Park City officials discussing options for the public golf course. Delane Cleveland has more on what could be in store.
An early start to the spring season was good news for the staff at Edinburgh, USA, as the golf course had its earliest opening in its 25-year history.
Because we started early in March, we had a great season this year. So our revenues did better at Edinburgh, USA than our expenses for 2012.
Today, the snow-covered course is closed for the season, but it's still a big topic of conversation at City Hall. Despite the successful year here at Edinburgh, city staff members project a $1 million operating deficit by 2016. Part of the reason is due to a past decision by the city to use $2 million of Edinburgh's cash reserves to subsidize the construction of the ice arena.
If we would have had that cash balance today, we wouldn't be in this position.
Some of the challenges we have.
At Monday's Brooklyn Park City Council meeting, they took several minutes to discuss different options for the golf course.
One of the options has talked about, and I'm not saying we're going to do it, is letting it go private.
Turning Edinburgh into a private course is just one idea that the city might hire a consultant to evaluate.
That person would be able to analyze our situation, our market, and make some recommendations on how we can maximize revenues, how we can decrease our expenditures.
Making Edinburgh a private course is a recommendation that won't be made anytime soon. But while the city would gain revenue from a potential sale of the course, Oyanagi warned that decisions shouldn't always be centered around money.
To lose control of that, you don't know if somebody would keep the same quality of a golf course, keep the clubhouse up and maintained, and you'd hate to be vulnerable to somebody changing that and losing that identity.
In Brooklyn Park, Delane Cleveland, 12 News.
The decision to hire a consultant could take place as early as Monday. Other ideas for Edinburgh include hiring a management firm or keeping control in the hands of the city.
Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar is proposing legislation that would make it harder for metal thieves to sell what they steal. There have been numerous crime reports recently of thieves taking valuable metals from cars, buildings, even working air conditioners. The Klobuchar says in the last 3 years, those thefts have increased more than 80%. Maple Grove Police Captain Keith Terlinden says a provision requiring sellers to prove they are legitimate could help reduce thefts.
It allows the buyer of that metal to have a standard on who they can buy from. And by far, that's the most important. It makes it more of a legitimate business. When someone's coming in to sell precious metal, they have to have a reason and a right to sell that.
The legislation would require purchases of scrap metal over $100 to be done by check, and that could help law enforcement track down thieves. Buying a lottery ticket is now as easy as paying at the pump.
This week, the Minnesota State Lottery started selling Powerball and Mega Millions tickets at a few gas pumps throughout the metro. Renee Bonneau is live in Plymouth to show us how it works. Renee?
Mike and Shannon, anybody who comes up to this BP in Plymouth can pay for their lottery tickets right here at the pump, right before they fuel up. It's the only gas station in the Northwest Metro where they can play at the pump.
Hey, how's it going, ma'am?
At this Plymouth BP, customers are greeted at the pump by John Singh.
You're going to swipe your card, and then you're going to put your phone number in there.
He's not a gas station attendant.
The reason why I'm here is to tell you that you can play Powerball and Mega Million at the pump.
He's a lottery ambassador.
You can buy 3 or 5 Powerball tickets.
He's showing customers how they can buy lottery tickets right from the gas pump using software launched just this week by the Minnesota State Lottery and the New York-based company Link3.
73% of people that drive up to a pump to fuel up never go in the store. So we wanted to appeal to that incremental customer that infrequently plays, but if it is presented to them, they would play.
How many tickets do you want to buy? 3? Okay, 3.
Once you pay, you get a receipt with your numbers on it, but you don't have to keep it.
Like I said, they're going to email you the link.
The lottery will actually text your numbers to your phone. If you win, they'll text you how much you won. But that's not all.
If they win under the taxable limit, which is $599, we actually credit that back to their debit card.
This is all part of a limited pilot program the lottery is trying at about 12 gas stations statewide. This ticketless feature will also be available on several dozen ATMs.
We didn't want to make a big splash until we're absolutely sure it's going to work for all of our players. You know, it's safe, secure, and does what we expect it to do.
People are excited. It was a little crazy in here last night.
A lot of people are liking that it's so quick. It takes 45 seconds, you're in and out with your gas, and then you're done.
There is a catch. The way the system's set up, if you want to buy a ticket for tonight's drawing, you can't do it at the pump. You still have to go inside.
Still, customers and gas station owners are pumped.
Yeah, we're excited about it. See how it goes and how much more business it brings us.
That $550 million jackpot is sure going to bring in extra business here. But again, if you buy your tickets at the pump on the day of the drawing, those lottery numbers are good for the following drawing. So in this case, it would be on Saturday. The software company says it is working on changing that. Now, there are 4 ATM locations here in the Northwest Metro where you could buy lottery tickets. We'll have those places posted on our website, 12.tv. Live in Plymouth, Renee Bonneau, 12 News.
All right. Thank you, Renee. Trends, and more trends. For the city of Plymouth, those trends are headed in a positive direction. In fact, according to a new survey released this week, 3 out of every 4 residents in Plymouth view the quality of life as excellent. Survey company Decision Resources says only Edina and St. Louis Park had residents view their city more highly. As far as concerns, 18% listed growth as the most pressing issue. This kind of growth refers to not enough restaurants and other retail amenities. As far as top public safety issues, Plymouth residents list youth crimes and vandalism, speeding, and drugs as the main concerns. The survey taker reveals drug problems as a growing issue, not just in Plymouth, but in other Northwest suburbs too.
Chicken restaurants in the Northwest Metro will be taking on a new flavor and a new name. KFC Restaurants in Brooklyn Park and Crystal closed this month and will soon become Popeyes. They're part of a sale of 14 Minnesota KFC outlets to Popeyes Louisiana Kitchens. The KFC stores were going through Chapter 11 bankruptcy when they were sold earlier this month. The sale will give Popeyes an immediate presence in the Twin Cities. No opening date has been announced. Coming up, light rail in Golden Valley. Is it full steam ahead? We'll see what Golden Valley Mayor Shep Harris has to say.
And later in sports, a big honor for a football standout from Osseo. John Jacobson has that story.
But first, it's your AccuWeather forecast.
Welcome back. It's a topic that keeps churning down the tracks in Golden Valley. Will the city eventually sign off on light rail? Tonight, a special public forum takes place on the issue. Mike is with Golden Valley Mayor Shep Harris with more. Mike?
Thanks, Shannon. And Mayor Harris, thanks so much for being with us today. I really appreciate it. This, of course, is a long and involved process, and you hear from residents tonight about a plan that would bring light rail through the eastern section, right, of Golden Valley. Any expectations about the feedback or the number of people that you'll see tonight?
Well, I'm hoping for a good turnout just from the number of emails and the number of phone calls that we've received. I think we should have a full house and then some.
What have you been hearing so far, though? Do you have any expectations about what they will tell you tonight, or is it going to be across the board, yes, no, and only if this situation occurs?
I think it's going to be a bit of above, all of the above. I think we've heard, I'm thrilled that we're doing this again. We've taken a lot of public input, but we feel like we need to keep on going and get further input. And I think we're going to hear a lot of concerns for and a lot of concerns going forward.
Do you think residents will eventually be on board?
That's a good question. That remains to be seen. I'm hoping that at least what we can do is take the next step and do the more extensive study through the Met Council and the county.
That's what I was going to ask you about. As it stands now, light rail would run along an existing freight line it's in Theodore Wirth Park in the east side of the city. And I know you voted in favor of the route earlier this year, but you also have some concerns yourself about it.
Sure. There's a number of environmental concerns and also impact to the neighbors in terms of light pollution, noise pollution. The train, technically, the right-of-way actually goes adjacent to the park and not through the park. Okay. But still, there's a number of environmental concerns that I have and others have, and we want to go forward, take the next step, look at the study, and see if those environmental concerns, the impact to the neighborhood, could be mitigated. And that will allow us really to have kind of all the facts on the table, and then we can really weigh the facts legitimately.
Now, you can't take that next step, though, unless you, the city signs off on the route, and then that step takes place. Is that right? Is that the way I understand it?
That's correct. What we're looking at is a resolution that would allow the Met Council and the county to move forward and do an extensive, detailed study of this preferred alignment, which would include going through the eastern portion of Golden Valley.
So a lot of attention on Golden Valley from the Met Council and from Hennepin County, because the only city along the route that hasn't signed off on this. What happens if you don't?
If we don't, that's really up at that point to the Met Council and to the county to see whether or not they do go forward and apply to the federal government for the preliminary study, or do they decide not to do the light rail at all through the whole northwest area.
Again, the public forum is tonight. What time?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock at Golden Valley City Hall. Tonight, Wednesday night. All right. Thank you very much, Mayor Harris. Appreciate it. Back to you, Shannon.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Still ahead, turning fashion on its head for the holiday office party. This one requires you to dig deep in your closet. But first, in sports, a good battle between Cooper and Park Center in their season opener in girls basketball. John Jacobson has those highlights and more when we come back.
John Jacobson with Sports Now. This has got to be among the top honors that an individual football player can receive.
He'd already won Star Tribune Metro Play of the Year, and this kind of icing on the cake. A few days after the high school football season ended, a big postseason honor goes to a local prep athlete. Osseo's number 34 Bridge Tussler has been named the Associated Press Player of the Year in Minnesota. Tussler rushed for 1,173 yards and 16 touchdowns. He also caught 18 passes for 243 yards and 3 TDs. On special teams, Bridge returned 2 punts for scores, plus contributed big for the Orioles defense with 8 interceptions. In addition to Tussler, 6 other local players were named first-team All-State. On offense, Maple Grove wide receiver Jake Winicky, plus offensive lineman Michael Warren of Providence Academy and Chandler Wright from Wayzata. On defense, named AP first-team All-State were defensive back Charlie Miller and lineman Joe Schiller from state 5A champion Tutino Grace, plus linebacker Chris Wibson from Wayzata. 4 area players made the Associated Press's second team. The Cooper and Park Center girls basketball programs have each gotten better at the same time. The Hawks and Pirates have been meeting early in the season now for several years, and they played in the season opener for both Tuesday night. Nice passing for Cooper. Chelsea McGee to Talia Rich to Hannah Deneur for 2 of her 7 points off the bench in the first half. Kayla McMorris flashes free and takes the Hannah Shaw pass for 2. McMorris scores 20 for the night. Shaw beats the Cooper press here and goes all the way for the tough left-handed layup, and the Pirates go up 12-10. But Cooper closes the first half strong. McGee drives and dishes to Tori Green for the long 2. The Hawks lead by 9 at halftime. And McGee's quick 3 off the inbounds play gives Cooper its biggest lead of the night, 12 points at 27-15. But Park Center battles back. A give and go leads to a Kate Simonette hoop, and they're within 1 at 37-36. Cooper never surrenders the lead, though. McGee scores on a clutch drive as the Hawks edge Park Center 51-47 to start the season. On the other side of Brooklyn Park, Champlin Park hosted Cretin off the missed jump shot. Hannah Krimble gets the rebound and finds Genevieve Atkins for the basket and foul. Alexis Alexander penetrates, then dishes the pass to Maria Sampson for the baseline jumper. Rebels lead 22-17 at halftime. And they come out hot in the second half. They work it to Callie Zimmerman, who banks in the 3-pointer. She finishes with 15 points. Good ball movement again for the Rebels as Sampson cans the long 2 to make it 33-21. Allie Zaffe scores inside off the feed from Atkins. Zaffe leads Champlin Park with 18 points, and the Rebels beat Cretin-Derham Hall 54-41. The puck dropped on a new boys hockey season for a few area schools over the weekend. The Hopkins Royals went 1-1 in the Woodbury tournament. The Royals played their 3rd road game of the season Tuesday night. Kennedy goalie David Johnson makes a big save here, stopping the shot from Josh Lavin and Jim Couples on the rebound. Scoreless in the 3rd period when the Eagles get on the board. Connor Jensen works it down low to Brad Heinrichs, who jams it in. Kennedy leads 1-0, and that was easy. Hopkins gets on the board in its own power play. Lavin to Anthony DiGiulio for the shot on goal, and it's a 1-1 game. 42 seconds later, they score again. Matt Cook with the blast from the high slot. And this is the game winner as Hopkins edges Kennedy 2-1. The Royals' home opener is Saturday against Armstrong. In girls hockey, the Armstrong-Cooper team was riding a 5-game winning streak, entering their Northwest Suburban Conference game against Centennial. First period of this one, Armstrong-Cooper works the puck out of their zone. Marissa Odell skates it down. She shoots. The save is made, but Emma Terrace is there for the rebound, knocks it home for the goal. Shorthanded goal, making it 1-0. Late in the first period, Terrace, another nice move inside the defender, scores her second of the night. 2-0 Armstrong-Cooper after 1. Goalie Ashley Ritten preserves the shutout, making the save on Allie Jensen. Ritten finishes tonight with 24 stops as Armstrong-Cooper blanks Centennial 2-0 for their 6th win in a row. And that's a look at sports for today.
All right. Thanks, John.
Thank you, John. Well, still ahead, a Christmas tradition that keeps getting uglier and uglier.
You want to stick around for this? We'll be right back.
I'll have a blue Christmas.
Talk about trash to treasure. A new holiday trend encourages you to dig deep in your closet for your next holiday party.
If you're going to an ugly Christmas sweater party, the rule is the more gaudy, the better.
'Twas the month before Christmas, and all through the store, shoppers were hunting for bargains galore. Racks of sweaters are nestled all snug by the door.
Something really ugly.
But it's just what Dan's been looking for. The ugly sweater Christmas party is now the thing to do.
I've tried to avoid it in the past.
But this year he'll go because he was asked to. Arks Valley Village is stocked ready for this trend.
We've got a ton of them.
Ready for you to come shop with a friend. You'll find ugly sweaters ready to sell, beaded, bedazzled, even with bells. There are snowmen, Santa, and Bart Simpson too. Look, there's even a sweater made with hot glue.
What guy wouldn't want this?
So if you want your holiday wardrobe to look nightmarish, this is the place to find.
Something really wild and garish.
Plan a party for Christmas, and what could be better than to have your friends wear
the ugly Christmas sweaters.
And what kind of coworker would I be if I didn't bring back ugly sweaters for the two of you? Mike, I picked out this Bill Cosby number for you, so that would look good. And then you can channel your inner golf player for this golf. And these are sweaters that can give all year round, so you can just keep on wearing them. Let's see it.
Should I admit I have one that's pretty close to
Really?
It's not this nice.
Well, there you go. Keep it deep in your closet. Bring it out this time of year. Totally acceptable. So, of course, Arks Valley Village has those sweaters and more on sale now through the end of the year.
Did you get one?
No, I didn't. Not this time. But I don't have a party to go to yet.
No, okay.
We'll see.
Create a party.
All right. That's all the news we have for today. Thanks for joining us, everyone.
See you back here tomorrow beginning at 4.